Okay, Konica. Right. See what this shitty machine is going to do now. I think we're going to leave it on text photo printed. Now we're going to start with black. Let's just get into this fuck shit. Get it done. I've got to work out the sizing. I think I've got a good idea how big it's going to be. It's nearly the size of a business card. Nearly. So we're going to make this 340, or actually, yeah, we're going to make it 340, and for the vertical, it's going to be 386. See how we go with those sizes, and let's just get our asses. And no, we're not going to photocopy my ass, although a lot of people try and end up breaking the fucking machine, and that's not good. So yeah, I know I hate Konica Minolta and shit like that. I don't hate them that much that I want to give them a brown eye, because I'd end up breaking my fucking machine and I'd get into big trouble. I won't have a service agreement anymore. This machine's probably got so much fucking plastic and flimsy sheet metal that it's not going to withstand the weight of it. So even if I put a thick piece of glass in with which is toughened, safety glass, it still won't. The actual machine would probably collapse. It's that fucking flimsy, so it's not something I actually want to do with this. I'd reserve that for a bigger, more robust machine, but I don't have access to such a thing, so I don't do it. That's it. Bottom line. Bottom line. Get it. Yee-hee. Funny. Not. Okay. Be funny if for Konica Minoltas to upset Konica Minolta. It would be funny to do a fucking brown eye into their machine, but a machine like a BizHub Pro would probably be better for that kind of tomfoolery. So we're going to use this as what we're photocopying. We're going to do, it's basically a Park Hyatt. I think it's a motel. I found this on the street. Some unfortunate person, I think it's the card that lets them in. And I just thought I'd take it off the street because it's got a nice picture on it. Demo material. That's it. I just find all sorts of shit and I use it, so to speak. But yeah, it's not good to sit on a copier, and I do advise strongly against it anyway, because you could break the glass is only designed to support about 2 kilos, and this seems to be across pretty much a standard in the industry from what I can tell. And the thing is, you don't want to sit on it because you'll end up breaking it. But even if you don't break the glass, you could easily bow the glass enough so that the scanner jams, and if the scanner jams, it's going to stuff up the fucking machine. I'm going to enlarge this bigger. It's going to stuff up the machine, it's going to break it. It's going to cause the scanner to jam, and you're going to have to call a technician. And you don't want to do that, because your boss would probably make you pay for the repairs, because it would not be covered under the service agreement if someone's broke the machine because they sat on it. So you're going to be, and these technicians, they cost a lot of money if you have to pay for what's called a do-in charge. So it's not good at all. So this is our first out. We still got to add a bit of extra enlargement. So basically, you don't want to pay for a technician. It's about like $160 or something like that, $386. So we don't want to basically have to deal with paying for a technician call out, and you got to pay for the time they're there to fix it, and then you got to pay for the spare parts. So the damage could be quite extensive. So it's not worth your while having a bit of a go. Even if you're having a go at Konica Minolta, like I do get very frustrated with them, but I'm not going to let my frustration make me do something really dumb. And they'll probably end up laughing at you anyway, because they ended up charging you. I mean, even though Mytronics is the company that looks after my machine, it's a dealership, basically Konica Minolta would still be laughing, because Mytronics has to get spare parts from Konica Minolta. So Konica Minolta could end up you could end up making Konica Minolta a little bit richer. Do you really want to make those Konica Minolta fuckwits rich? Do you really want them to fucking, do you really want Konica Minolta to benefit from your fucking, stupidity, I guess? But it's not always a stupid idea in itself. It's just that, these machines are not designed for that, and, they're not designed to do some of the stuff I do. But I try to make sure it's not something that's going to cause a nasty little call out. But basically, yeah, and and it's not just about paying for the bill. You might end up getting a sack. There's not enough jobs going around, and basically there are heaps of people who need work. So basically, you're going to have to compete with these other people, and also, if you could end up on having it put on your resume that you did the wrong thing. You sat on the photocopier, and it could end up on your resume, and you'll end up with a black mark against your name, pardon the pun, but you know what I mean, and end up with a bad name against your record, and then every time you go for a job, it'll come back to haunt you. And it's just not worth it. You got to keep your job. There's just not enough work going around. So consider yourself fortunate that you have a job, and just don't do those sorts of stupid tomfoolery things. It's understandable you want to sit on the copier, and this often comes out in Christmas parties and that sort of thing, and people are getting drunk and they can't think what's right and what's wrong and what's advisable. So even at a party, just make sure you don't do it. You don't get drunk. So you don't do stupid things. There are other stupid things that can be done under the influence. Now that looks really nice. I'm thinking we're going to keep it like that. But basically, don't sit on the copier. And also a closely relevant thing is don't get drunk. Don't drink at a Christmas party. You've got to hang on to your job, folks. Otherwise, you're going to end up on the scrap pile. I mean it. This employment. This lack of employment and lots of people means you're not likely to get a fucking job again. Even if you don't do anything wrong and you're a good worker, you could always get the sack because your boss is an asshole, for example. Now we're just going to enlarge this off so that the bridge looks like a nice mirror image. So yeah, there's just so many ways to lose your job. And there's just so many, hang on, we did the wrong thing here. No, we didn't. We wanted it to be Y. So yeah, you just have to be careful nowadays. And sitting on a copier is one of the best fast-track ways to getting unemployed and having a nasty record against your name. So yeah, don't sit on the copier, folks. And also closely related, don't get drunk. And don't flirt with the boss or flirt with whoever, because that's often what happens. Apart from sitting on the copier, that's often what happens when you get under the influence. So you got to think. You may have to think a bit like a nerd, and it might sound like it's a bit square, not having a so-called good time and all that. But basically, these good times can result in unemployment, so you don't want that. So you just have to think, because the next day you have to go back to work, and chances are you're going to have to face up to what you did, and it's not good to face up to an angry boss who just said that you sat on the copier and you have to pay for it, or whatever. I just find the whole idea of office relationships, especially when in regards to parties, a very thorny issue, and it doesn't bother me. It's not my concern, but I'm concerned for other people, what might happen to them. For some reason, I do have a concern that people could be putting themselves in big shit if they do these typical office pranks or office foolishness. I mean, it's just like, hang on to your job, folks. Just please don't sit on the copier. Don't get drunk. Don't flirt. Don't have sex with someone in the office. Fuck me dead. Don't do it, folks. Your job is really precious, guys. And I really do care because I can see things are not looking good, and we might end up with a huge, it looks like we're on the edge of a huge economic downturn, so you got to just hang in there and hang on to your fucking jobs, you know. Just hang in there, guys. See, this is another thing with Konica Minolta, is this stupid scrolling sometimes leads to the scrolling, you know, that's really annoying. So I can understand, I mean, so I'm not going to do it, even though I hate Konica Minolta and I hate what they stand for, that they love money. I'm not going to fucking sit on their copier just because I hate Konica Minolta. Oh, you know, because I'm not going to end up fucking up my machine. And I don't have curtains on my windows, so I end up, yeah, and of course the glass isn't strong enough. So yeah, I can't replace the glass myself because I'm not a technician. That would void the service agreement. But also the machine itself would end up collapsing. So I'd end up with a machine that would never work ever again. It would end up jamming. It would just have, the paper path would be all twisted, and the scanner, even if the paper path isn't damaged, the scanner would pretty almost certainly be damaged. So don't sit on your copier for more reasons than one. It's a hard message to take sometimes, but hey, if you listen to it, you won't regret it. Believe you me, it probably might be the best piece of advice you might need come Christmas time, especially Christmas. There is a statistic I've heard circling around that 25%, or I don't know if it's 25% or over 25% of photocopier faults worldwide, should I say, of photocopier faults worldwide are caused by people sitting on them. So basically, if you look at those statistics, that's a high amount. That's like one service call in 25%. So that's probably one service call in 4 that a machine requires service because someone has sat on it. Honestly, that's a scary statistic. So take that statistic and make you think that maybe you're going to end up, your boss is going to end up having to report the machine because it's been broken. So don't sit on it. Don't sit on the copier. Take my words seriously. It sounds amusing. I know it is amusing if someone gets away with it, but not many people get away with it. And you've got to consider the huge unemployment we have now. So don't sit on the copier. Even if you get away, people will start talking about you. And yes, you could still lose your job because you did something, you indecently exposed yourself. The police could be called. You don't want that. You don't want any trouble. So don't sit on the copier. Don't get drunk. Just look after yourself and your job. Anyway, that's my 2 cents for the day.